Hey, Greg Luther here, and listen, I wanted to share this with you as a real estate agent because I really thought this was very helpful and impactful for not only myself, but for others. Many of you know I coach realtors all over the country, and I get lots of questions that come in every day. One question that came in that was particularly exciting for me and actually made me think about what's the correct answer to this. I had a gentleman ask me, which two beliefs do you wish you had when you were in your 20s? Essentially, if you could tell your younger self something that would help you tremendously throughout your life, what would that one thing be? So I actually wrote it down. I really thought about this. Which two beliefs do you wish you had when you were in your 20s? And I've learned so much. Obviously, I've become very successful in that type of thing, but I failed miserably when I first became a real estate agent. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Nobody starts out as one of the top producers. Everybody starts out saying, how in the heck do I fill out a contract? So when I got licensed at 21 years old, there was a lot of things that I had to learn the hard way, but I found that a lot of the problem was the 4 inches between my ears. So I thought a lot about this question, and I really thought it's one of the best questions I've ever been asked. What are the two beliefs that you wish you had when you were in your 20s? So I made lots of notes on this, and you'll see me kind of referring to my notes here because I've kind of thought through if I could give somebody advice on the two big beliefs you need to have. There's really, there could be 3, 5, whatever, but if I had to limit it to those two things, I really thought through this because we know that your beliefs create your thoughts create your decisions create your actions, and your actions create your results, blah, blah, blah. You guys know that, right? We've been told that millions of times, and I say blah, blah, blah because we all know that. Like, we've learned that over the years, but you have to really get to that beliefs section of it. And I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I've got both things, and I want to share them with you. So the first one is huge. The first one is a really, really big one that I wish I'd known years and years ago. And that is that judgment from other people is temporary and irrelevant. And I actually want you to write that down. Grab a piece of paper. I want you to write this down. And I want to give you some details about what I mean by this. Judgment from other people is temporary and irrelevant. Now, that's true whether it's in your real estate business, it's true in your personal life. It absolutely does not matter at all. And reflecting on my own life, the overwhelming majority of bad decisions that I've made, things that ended horribly, were a direct result of my personally acting in accordance with what I thought other people would think about me when I did that. That's true in real estate, it's true in personal life, it's true in relationships, all of those things. Is every bad decision I've made, and we've all made bad decisions in our life, every one that I've made, all of the catastrophic stuff that's happened, has happened because I was taking an action based on what I thought other people would think of me and really worried about what they thought of me. So I didn't want them to think badly of me. Obviously, you want people to think good of you. And I think this lesson, a couple of notes that I have here, are really going to shed some light for you, not only in your business life, but in your personal, your private life as well. From my business decisions, my marketing decisions, I did a lot of this stuff based on what I thought other people would think about me. As an example, as a real estate agent, is this professional looking enough? Do I need, does this look a little too shoddy, or is the, whether it's video or pictures or whatever, I was always so worried about having some sort of like professional reputation. I would never think to get on a live video. Oh my gosh, what if something goes wrong? Or I made a funny face or forgot what I was going to say or whatever. I was always so worried about being professional instead of being authentic. And whether it's your relationship, a spouse that you're with, your family, your friends, your business acquaintances, the more authentic you are, the more believable that's going to be. So I would even do things that I had no interest in doing whatsoever, but I didn't want other people to think that I was rude or inconsiderate. Right? And I'm sure you've done the same thing. There's things that you had no interest in doing. They wouldn't help you in any way. It wasn't even exciting for you, but you do it because you're afraid that other people are going to think you're rude or you're inconsiderate or you're not taking their feelings into account. And I made a lot of mistakes in doing that. And again, every catastrophic thing that has happened to me is a direct result of my belief that it matters what other people think about you. And I'm getting to something you're really going to like here, because it does not matter at all. I truly thought that even if a stranger felt badly about me, that the world was going to end. Like, oh my gosh, somebody that doesn't even know me says something bad about me. Oh boy, that's going to just kill me. It's going to ruin me, right? So I thought somehow there was going to be some horrible ending if somebody didn't like me. I got news for you. A whole lot of people right now, if you only have 4 people in your family, one of them doesn't like you right now. In your own family, they don't like you. That's normal. And if you put too much weight on that, it's going to affect the way you throw your punches. You're going to pull back your punches because you're worried about what other people, the people that don't even matter, you're worrying about what they think. So I did it with relationships, with business, with my marketing approaches, with my family, absolutely everything that's out there. I made mistakes based on what I thought other people would think about me. I'll give you a concrete example. So I'm going to show you a really cool one here, and I'm going to ask your opinion as well. I want you to think, if you could tell your 20-year-old self something, what would it be? But here's a good concrete example for you. So I created this belief somehow in my brain, my very, very smart brain, insert sarcasm here, I somehow convinced myself that most people who buy educational material don't use it and are not going to profit from it, right? So the reason that came about is years ago, I used to sell ebooks, right? So, learn how to sell real estate. Here's an ebook that'll show you how for $20 or something. And I started looking in there and I saw that over 70% of the people that bought it never even clicked the download button. So then I get this thing in my mind like, well, if they bought it and they didn't download it, of course they can't use it, and they're going to think I'm a bad person because they bought something from me and it didn't work, even though in reality they never even read the thing. It could have like the world's gift inside it. Doesn't matter how good the product is, they didn't use it. So I start getting this thing in my mind, well, if you sell information to people or you're helping them with tips and tools and techniques that we know work and they're proven, maybe they're going to think you're a bad person. So I started like changing what I was doing. I'll do some stuff I'll do other stuff. I'll create websites I did all this stuff over, I've been doing this 21 years, 22 years now, actually, this month. And, I start thinking like, I'm actually helping the people that do use it. They download it, they read it, back when it was book days, they would read it. It would actually work. But, I've done all of that. And what happens is, I got to where I need to sell it to them, but then I need to create like a multi-part follow-up email sequence to nag them, to get them to do what they said they were going to do. Download the book, and then, believe it or not, some people buy books and don't even read them, but actually read the book. So I'm nagging these people to try and help them with their business. And the fact is, it's not my responsibility to give them personal accountability. Right? They'll even buy something and not use it. I can tell you, there's a lot of people, back when we had cassette tapes, they still have cassette tapes that are still in the shrink wrap. Never even listen to them. Now you can't, because you can't even buy a cassette player anymore. So, that was a big issue for me. And if they don't get the results that they want, they might think that that's a problem with the product, right? And you may have thought that way about dealing with investors, right? It's very hard to meet their goals anyway. Dealing with investors or dealing with unrealistic sellers or whatever. And if you, let's say you go meet a for sale by owner and the for sale by owner is mean to you. Well, you might just think everybody is going to be mean to you, and those are people that don't like you. Well, if you're a man, you probably met a female that didn't like you sometime down the road, probably loved you at one time and then hated you. That doesn't mean all females do, right? Or vice versa, or same way, or whatever. So that doesn't mean that you need to be all in, this doesn't work for me, or this does work for me, or nobody's going to like me, or any of that stuff. That's not the case. So I was able to decide in my brain that if I have helpful products and I promote it to all these people and they don't use it, that it's not going to work. And, that affected my ability to help our community. I started pulling back what I know I can do to help others. So I was even worried about what my answer would be in the 1 or 2 times a year that somebody asked me, what do you do for a living? I was like, oh my gosh, what do I say? Because I don't want them to think badly. I'm like a perfect stranger. And I always felt like if I say I sell real estate, they'd be like, oh my gosh, get away from him, right? And so I'm like thinking of a creative way. I'm a real estate consultant. I'm so worried about what strangers think, even if I just say what the hell I do for a living, and I only get asked that question once or twice a year. But I'm like overthinking this stuff because I put so much weight back then. I put so much weight on what other people think about me that I didn't do a good job for the people that do care about me. So I can guarantee one thing for you, and here's a big lesson for you. I can guarantee one thing. No need for a disclaimer here. These results are typical. Whatever you do, people are going to think badly of you. A lot of people are going to think badly of you. I will promise you that's the case. It does not matter what you do. You can be walking down the street giving out $100 bills and giving them to homeless and giving them to just anybody you see. And somebody's going to be sitting over there saying they got all that money. They could have got on a plane and went to some place that it could actually use the money. There's starving children in Africa. Why are they giving it to them? They're probably just going to use it on drugs. Everybody is going to hate. You can give money away, and people will get mad at you and yell at you for this. Many of you know, if you go back through my Facebook Lives, every year at Thanksgiving and at Christmas, I give out $10,000 in $100 bills. So I go downtown. Last year I was in Tampa at the time. And I go downtown and I find people that could probably use it, right? So lots of homeless people and that type of thing. And they haven't seen a $100 bill in a long time. And I just pass out $100 bills. I don't even have much of a conversation with them. I just wish them a happy holiday and I give them a $100 bill. And I'll always have people comment, oh, they're just going to use it for drugs. They're just going to use it for alcohol. I really, honest to God, I'm doing it for me. I don't care what they use it for. I'm helping some of them. If I give out $100 bills, I know I help 20, 30, 40 people that day. And I'm doing it for how it makes me feel. So if you know that somebody is in need of help and you have the ability to help them, you have to decide. It's on me if I don't at least help them. It's on them if they do the wrong thing. So I'm not going to start going out there and like deciding I'm not helping anybody because somebody's going to be mad. I should be helping someone else, or that's not the correct way to help them, or whatever. They're sitting at home doing nothing. So you have to be very conscious of what's important to you and how it makes you feel. So that I've been doing this for 7 years. This is the 7th year. So I've done it for 6 years. This is the 7th year I've been doing that at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And only one time have I even talked about it because I don't do it for clout. I don't do it for anything else. If anything, like many of you know, we hand out fully cooked meals to needy families. I just got an email from one of our agents here. He's sending it out to 35 people this year, 35 needy families. The reason I talk about it is because I have a big voice. I have a lot of followers. I can get other agents to give forward as well. Right? We have 55, 60,000 people that follow the Facebook page alone. If I show you something I'm doing to help others, it's going to get a whole lot of us giving back to the community. So I don't worry about the haters that are out there. If you're a hermit and you live at home and only 5 people even talk to you ever, including family, I'll promise you one of them is hating on you right now. There's nothing you can do about that. So the only people that matter to you are the people that you're working with, your prospects, your family, that type of thing. And the best way to start a favorable opinion in their mind about you, to start that relationship, is to help them, to move them forward, to help them in some way, to give them some really good advice, to help them. Maybe it is financially. That's the best way to do it. But for everyone else in the world, who cares what their opinion is? Who really cares what their opinion is? I'll guarantee you someone's hating on you right now. So I wish I could go back in time and I could tell my younger self, other people's opinion doesn't matter. The quicker you can make that happen, the quicker you're going to be okay with doing Facebook Live to promote what it is that you do, that you can help families with their buying and selling needs. Oh my gosh, I hate how I look on camera. I look fat. No, you are fat, but it's going to be a camera of you helping other people while you're fat. Now you can be fat and rich, right? Like I got over all that stuff. I used to worry about all that stuff, and it does not matter. So I've had people, you know, being online, I've had people that have never even worked with me talk, oh, that's a scam, that's fake, and then you look at their page, they're saying the same thing about everybody out there, every coach that's out there or whatever. The fact is their business is a disaster, so they can't afford anything, and they'll tell everybody that all coaches can't help them, right? It's like saying a personal trainer at the gym is a scam. No, you're fat and you don't want to do the work. If the personal trainer sits there and says, do 1,000 sit-ups today, that's genius because it actually works. You just don't want to do the 1,000 sit-ups, right? He's not a scam. You just won't do what he tells you to do because it's painful for you to do that. So that is something I really want you to think about because, again, everything that's ever happened in my life that's become a disaster has done so because I was worried about other people's opinions. So if I would have never known about it, I would have been better off. If I didn't know about those opinions, I could have kept right on going and it wouldn't have affected me at all, and it wouldn't affect my contribution to my community. So if there's one thing that's occurring, even if you don't know about it, it's not going to affect your life in any way. It's not going to affect your ability to contribute to the world. You're better off not knowing, and if you do find out, you're better off not caring. So I really want you to think about that. That's the first thing that I really wish I would have known earlier in life. And let me know if you agree with this, by the way. Yes or no in the comments here. Let me know. Do you agree that you shouldn't put so much weight on what other people think about you? Yes or no? Put it in the comments here and let me know. There's something else I want to ask you as well, but let me know. Do you think you should care about what other people think, maybe even more so than what you think about yourself? How important is that? Should you care more about them? Yes or no? And with that, I've got a second one that I want to give you too, because the question that the agent asked me was, what are 2 things you wish you'd told yourself or you wish you'd known in your 20s? I want you to really think through this, and I've got the second one for you. I'm actually going to give it to you tomorrow where I can really think this through. So I'm going to give it to you tomorrow, and I really think it'll make a big difference. If you like it, you enjoy it, and you internalize it, I really think it'll make a big difference for you. So you'll want to make sure that you follow the page and you turn on notifications here so you can see what I'm going to be giving you tomorrow. I might be sitting in this exact same place. I don't know. But I'd like to know your opinion about something. What is something that you wish you'd known when you were much younger? You wish it was installed in your brain when you were much younger. What do you wish you knew back then? Now, it might be something funny. Like it might be, I wish I'd known my second wife was freaking crazy, right? Or something like that. But really, what do you wish you'd known back then? Because we can all learn from each other too. Type in the comments here. What do you wish you knew in your 20s that you know now? Or maybe it still bothers you now and you haven't gotten over it, whatever it is, right? Whatever that might be. Leave it in the comments here. I'd love to know. I'm going to actually read through and reply to several of these comments here. I'd love to know, what do you wish you knew in your 20s that would have made a big difference in how quickly you came up in business or in life or, your personal life or whatever it is? I'd love to help you in growing your business. And many of you know, I would be remiss if I didn't give you some kind of offer. So many of you know we have an awesome training, a recorded training that can help you tremendously. If you go to listmoresellers.com, it's probably in the description here somewhere. You can just put in your email address and it'll automatically get you registered for the training. Listmoresellers.com. I think it will help you out tremendously. But again, a lot of what we're talking about here today on not caring so much about what others think, I don't care if you're not even a real estate agent. It's going to help you. It will make a tremendous difference. I always said the reason I've done so well is because I was so combative against what other people thought. Many of you know I was what they defined a bad kid. I was a bad kid because I wouldn't stand in line, raise my hand when you wanted me to raise my hand so that I could talk. I don't need to raise my hand to talk. You need to listen to me. Right? So I was like the bad kid. I went to 13 schools in 8 years. Finally, after the 8th grade, I decided that's enough. I'm going to drop out. I don't want to do the high school and the college and all of that. I was like the combative person because I wanted to be a leader. I didn't want to be a follower. And that's something they don't really teach these days. And if I would have cared what other people thought, instead of caring how I want to contribute to the world and the number of people that I truly want to help, I would probably be working at a gas station somewhere. Right? So regardless of what you think is right or wrong, the only thing that matters is What kind of goodwill are you providing for your community? How are you helping as many people as possible? And as Zig Ziglar taught us years ago, the more people you help, the more you get what you want. If I help enough people to get what they want out of life, I will get what I want out of life. And I really think that's something we should all live by. So, somebody that pencils you in or paints you into this box and says, this is how you're supposed to act, it might be wrong. And you might want to look at, are they where I want to get in life, or am I trying to go way, way past that? So something for you to think about here today. But again, a little bit of life advice. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Check us out. Check out that quick training for real estate agents, listmoresellers.com. I think you'll find it very helpful. I will have episode 2, part 2 tomorrow. I wish I had a thing that said to be continued and I could create the cliffhanger for you here. But I'll have episode 2 for you tomorrow, which is the second thing that I wish I would have known in my 20s that would have made all the difference. As you get to, very successful, frankly, multi-millionaire status, you learn a lot of stuff along the way. And it's like, man, I would be billionaire with a B if I would have known these things way earlier. So I got a second one. I'm going to lay out all of my, you see me kind of looking to the left here. I'm going to be laying out all of my notes so that I can show you this tomorrow and really make it helpful for you. My goal is to be helpful for our community and it make a big impact for you. So really cool stuff for you. I think you'll find it very helpful. Any thoughts you have, let me know. Leave a comment here. I'm totally fine with that. Send me a message in our inbox, whatever I can do to help you in growing your business, fixing your life. I always tell everybody, don't ask for advice if you don't want it. I told a guy the other day, he needs to get a divorce, but before he needs to get a divorce, he needs to leave right now and text me back from his car that he has left that relationship. Very, very abusive, mentally, physically, everything else. I was like, you need to leave now. Don't ask me a question if you don't want the answer. And he's like, well, I kind of knew that all along too. I just needed a little bit of support. So that's usually not the case. Most of us are like happy that side. We just want to get our business going in the right direction. But don't ask for advice if you don't really want the improvement that you need. Sometimes it's painful, right? If I say I'm really fat and they say I need 1,000 sit-ups, you gotta be okay doing the 1,000 sit-ups. I'd be like, can I do 10 a day for 100 days? But you gotta be willing to take that advice, whatever it is. So many times it's just little tweaks we can make in our business to get an extra $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. It's not hard to do. That's like 2 houses, 3 houses. So I'll give you all that I can. Any questions you have, let me know. Check out listmoresellers.com. Go out there and make it a profitable week. If you're watching this live, I tell everybody all the time, here in the United States, we have something called holidays. We don't have anything called a Holla Week. We don't have anything called a Holla Month. We only have holidays. So if you have a holiday, I want you to take a holiday, but there's no such thing as a Holla Week. So it's time for you to get busy. It's time for you to keep hustling. Push forward while everybody else is sleeping. I think you'll find it very helpful. If this has been helpful for you today, if this video's been good, I want you to hit the like button. Give me a little thumbs up here. I think it's a blue thumbs. Is it a white thumbs up with a blue circle around it? I forget what it is. And share it with another agent that could certainly use this help. There's an awful lot of agents worried about what other people think about them. I want you to share this with other agents. Tag their name right here or hit the share button. Share it with your whole group. Do you agree everybody could learn from this? Share with all of your followers. I think it'll make a big difference for them. If we can make that little bit of difference in our friends and family's life, we've done something good today. Go out there and make some money. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye for now.